we present Whose Line Is It Anyway? And here is your chairman, Clive Anderson.
Hello and welcome to Whose Line Is It Anyway, a radio programme of off-the-cuff inspiration, ad-lib improvisation, extemporisation, and perhaps some other readings from Roger's Thesaurus. Well, this is the end of the series, so we all want to go out with a bang, but first we must do the show. As usual, we have participating Stephen Fry, the writer, humorist, and all-round swot, and a rather stalwart, getting ready even now to wart our stalls, the battler of Largs himself, John Sessions. Our two guests are John Glover of Weekending and Spitting Image fame, and finally, a very popular lung impressionist in the tradition of Mike Yarwood and Camille Pissarro, Rory Bremner. Right, well, we start with a game called Authors. The contestants are going to take it in turns to tell a story, the title of which will be thrown at them in a moment by the studio audience. They will each tell it in the style of a favourite author they've come along with. Now, Stephen, who's your author for this week?
The 1001 Arabian Nights, Clive.
Yes. By?
Many hands.
By many
hands.
Many hands, the German author. Right, so the 1001 Nights. And Rory?
So I should be doing Clive James and bringing a broad stroke of humour to the programme.
Jolly good. And Clive James. And John Glover?
Yes, Clive, I shall be doing crawling Mark Twain.
Mark Twain, a very good selection. John Sessions.
Charles Dickens.
Charles Dickens. All right, so we'll move on from contestant to contestant when I make this noise, like that, using the buzzer. But can we have a title, a suggestion from somebody in the audience who can think of a title?
The Adventures of Nellie the Elephant.
The Adventures of Nellie the Elephant. Thank you, sir. Right. The Adventures of Nellie the Elephant. Starting off with Stephen, with your author was the anonymous author, really, of 1001 Arabian Nights.
There was a merchant from Isfahan travelling to Basra by way of Baghdad, town of the silver-thighed maidens.
And as he left that town and headed out towards another second volume of autobiography, that well-known merchant from the land of Basra, one of those strange exotic places down under which always make good and cheap television series for people like me, headed off towards the circus, there to meet his doom and a fat chum called Nellie.
Gosh, gee willikins, Huck. How the devil in tarnation are we going to get this elephant on this raft and get her down the Mississippi and still keep up this endless flow of dialogue that seems to be the only thing that Mark Twain can write for us? There are no descriptions whatsoever of the raft.
Had Mr. Witch the unmitigated temerity, indeed happiness, indeed hope, to cast his eyes from the window, there below him on the street, moving indeed as if they had indeed been friends of Mr. Wickle, and indeed Mr. Wackle, and Mr. Wickle and Mr. Wackle, who of course had been writing the history of Greece for 15 years with a love and happiness not found at this part of Ilchester, they would have seen there before them Nellie the Elephant prancing along, going off to the circus in hard times.
The gazelle-eyed, moon-buttocked daughters of Isfahan. Oh, my beloved.
No, not on your Nellie, cried the trainer, Japanese, by the way, who'd managed to get Nellie into the circus tent in time for the final show.
Gosh, gee willikins, Huck. I sure am glad we managed to get Nellie the Elephant into the tent in time for the final show. Guess I'll have to go and paint Aunt Winstance's white picket fence even wider than it was before we get back on the raft, go down the Mississippi, meet some gamblers.
Tell me this, said Sykes, his eyes caught in the lemon light of the window pane. What kind of whittles am I warily talking to here? What kinds of whittles am I bringing to this elephant? Is it the whittles that an elephant wants? Leave him alone, said Nancy, and crashed into the floor. And at that very moment, the pachyderm itself, running along from Mr. Whittle, who had himself, just that very moment, come back from the pocket shop, came in and gave the elephant cream buns, and they all lived happily ever after.
Well, we end that round there. I think 10 points each, and a bonus of 15 to everybody for mentioning the title in every time we got to the story. Very unusual. Right, let's move on to the next game. It's called Genre Option. I'm going to give two players a setting of a scene, and they'll improvise it. And at any point, I'll stop them with this sound again. And I'm asking the studio audience here to supply a new film or theatre style, something like a musical or a western or Shakespearean. But hang on. Not Western or musical Shakespeare, because that's what people always shout out every week. And melodrama, not that either. So, it's Stephen and Rory. I'm going to give them a situation first before we give them a style. And your situation is, Stephen, can you be somebody interviewing... you're the tax inspector interviewing somebody about his tax returns.
Oh.
That's the scene you're improvising.
Right.
And you're interviewing Rory as that person, and we'll give you a style when I buzz. So just start off as normal.
Right. Mr. Hodgeplaster, do you mind if I come in?
Certainly. Don't mind the ledgers on the left. As you'll see, I've kept records extremely accurately over the last 5 years. And if you just mind that, that's the accountant who called last week and met a rather unfortunate end, in fact.
No card, that's good. Yes, no card.
This is 2, which I interpret as 22. You claim for only 20, darling.
Oh, yes, but moonlighting becomes me.
Another star from over there. James Bond. Okay, James Bond film.
No, I don't know. I don't really do a James Bond. Do you?
Well, it's funny you should ask that.
Oh, yes. Perhaps if you did your tax returns less and Rogered more, it might save you a bit of money in the long run.
It's always the way I have to
It's your
multiply
money,
by...
your penny money, in fact.
0.007 is usually the figure that we come to, but for holding a pen, I generally need a stuntman these days. And
Another one to end on. Film noir. Hang on, film noir. That's a bit like black and white film, I suppose.
Nice.
So,
You opened the book because Thype told you to open the book. Why did Thype tell you to open the book? Because he knew that you were going to be there at 3 o'clock in the morning. You fiddled her, darling, and you're going to swing for it.
so, there in a clip from a 1936 talking... We find the first experience of rapid dialogue. Later, of course, the projectionist managed to slow the film down to half the speed and made more of the words intelligible. However...
all right, 20 points each there, and a bonus of 5 to Rory for early use of Barry Norman. Always gets that bonus. I assume that's who it was. Now, John Sessions and John Glover, you've got a situation to do for us, please. A driving test. If John Sessions, you can be the tester. You're testing out John Glover as the driver. So if you'd like to improvise that, a bit of conversation going on there. And again, a few more theatre styles, film styles, when we get to it. Disaster movie. Again, everyone's very early with it. We can start. We'll start off with disaster movie then. Never mind the boring beginning bit.
I'm telling you, this car isn't going to go 25 feet. You're going to be looking at one long, gut-crunching mess of bodies and flame.
I haven't done the emergency stop yet.
Another style? Vaudeville. Okay, vaudeville. That should be okay. Thank you.
I can remember 4 years ago, sitting right here in the car.
I got the steering wheel right in my hand. It's really rather bizarre. It's my driving cars, my driving cars.
Yeah, another style. Japanese monster movie.
Renault 5.
Does that mean I failed?
Another one? Sorry. Melodrama again. The man desperately wants his melodrama. He's not going to stop yelling melodrama unless we do it, so do it.
Dead, and never called it Mercedes. There she lies. Come on with you.
Looks a mercy, landlord. I only hoped I was about to take my driving test. Surely this carriage can go down the end of the road so I can earn a living as a
Wheesh,
minicab
you
driver.
foul, snivelling swain. Take your Turnaby breath out of here before I put you back in the garage.
Oh, no, please, sir.